Corky Justis.
Hi.
With the Santiam Stampede.
Happy to be here.
And I was telling Carrie that I love your name.
Thank you.
She brings your name up every once in a while, like, oh, you know, Corky did this.
Okay, it's more than every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's not, you can't just say Corky. You got to say Corky Justis.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah. I was telling her, it reminds me that you should have like your own like sitcom.
Well, you
Like
know, I probably
Corky
could with
Justis.
my
She
life.
could.
Yeah.
She could.
Like a sassy district attorney, Corky Justis.
Oh, I like that. I get to debate then. Right?
Yeah. So tell us about the Santiam Stampede. It's been going on a little bit, right? For a couple years?
Yeah, a couple
Just a
now.
few
Yeah,
years,
we're
yeah.
this year will be our 26th year.
Wow.
Yeah. And we started it from scratch. So it's kind of like our baby and it's growing up now. And we're so proud of it. When it originally started, all of us that are on the board, we were volunteers at the time.
Yeah.
A local promoter came in and he was asking around town about people that could help him start a rodeo.
Okay.
And he came to all of us individually. We all agreed to help him. And then 3 years in, we bought him out and turned it into the nonprofit that it is today. And we all had such a desire to help the community. That's where it all came from. And we just wanted to be able to give back. And we've done that this whole time, and we're really proud of that.
And you guys have always been at the same spot?
Yes, we've always rented from the Sublimity Harvest Festival. We use their grounds, and we turn their dirt track into our arena.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's been really an interesting process over the years because sometimes we have to, like, spend a couple weeks, like, getting out the, like, remnants, I guess you'd call it, from the track. But lately, they also have a Hispanic rodeo that's been happening.
I was going to say, there's one a couple weeks before you guys, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's this, and they do multiples. Theirs is a little bit different setup than ours, but it's very popular. And so with them in there, it helps that we don't have to spend that kind of time anymore. So it's really great. That's wonderful for us.
It's
you
awesome.
know?
It's a good spot over there, too, right off the highway. Everybody sees it.
Yeah, it's
So,
perfect.
yeah.
And it's easy to find. And people are used. I mean, the Harvest has been around for 50 years.
Yeah.
So people are very familiar when you say, oh, we're at the Sublimity Harvest Festival grounds.
Yeah.
You know, that makes it super easy.
So you guys are the youngest rodeo?
We are probably, I don't know if we're the youngest, but we're one of the youngest. I was telling Carrie when her and I were chatting that when we started, we were affiliated with PRCA, and we would go down to Vegas to the conventions, and we were at a round table, and they were asking everybody's age of their rodeo. And when they came to us, and at the time, I think we were maybe 13 or 14 years old.
Yeah.
Which sounds like it's old.
Yeah,
Like,
it sounds like it, but most rodeos are super old. Like, I mean, a 50-year-old rodeo is considered young.
Yeah. Wow.
And a lot of them are 80 and 90 and 100. And we're blessed here in Oregon. People don't realize the history. I mean, obviously, people who follow rodeo probably have that knowledge. But here in Oregon, we are blessed to have such rich rodeo history. We have huge rodeos that are nationally known. We have St. Paul, we have Sisters, we have Pendleton. And those rodeos have such a great reputation. And for us, when we started, they were wonderful. They were willing to do anything to help us. They would give us bylaws that they've used. They would help us with things that we were like, how they promote. I mean, whatever we like had a question about, they were all more than willing to help us. So we were blessed in that aspect.
I think a lot of people don't realize that there's how much structure has to go into starting something as big as a rodeo.
Yeah.
That's probably why there's not rodeos everywhere.
Well, and probably, you know, any nonprofit or an event, you have to have that infrastructure. You have to have that foundation. I was telling Carrie, you know, it's like, yes, you're a nonprofit, but you have to realize you're a business also. And so you have to pay the bills. Yeah. And, you know, that means running it as a business. And that's super important so that you can be profitable to give back. And like I said, that's always been our mission from the beginning, is to always give back as much as possible. We're also blessed in that the sponsors we have, a large number of our sponsors have been with us at 26 years.
Wow.
I mean, that is not common.
No. I mean, I could see a sponsor come in like 1 year trying it out and then they disappear. But I mean,
not for us.
Wow.
That's not our norm.
Yeah.
Our norm is that they come, they stay, they increase their sponsorship, and it's awesome for us because there's a great continuity that happens when that takes place.
Yeah.
And they I guess I would say they take such ownership of our rodeo, which we love. We say it all the time that we feel like there's a Stampede family. And what we mean by that is that all of our sponsors, all of our volunteers, our fans, our local community, each one of those people is so integral to the success of our rodeo. And we know that we can't have success without each piece. And so for us, they feel like family. And like the fact that they've been with us for so long, we just literally, it's like we know like when somebody in their family passes and we're able to, be a part of that and acknowledge that for them. And, the joyful things that happen like in their business when they're successful. So you just definitely build a relationship that's way beyond just a sponsor event kind
it's
of
like a community.
Definitely. That's perfect to put it.
So they get value, they feel valued, and they also they get the value out of being the sponsor.
We hope so. That's always our goal. Our goal is always to hopefully not that you want to underpromise, but always overdo what you tell them you're going to do. And we try to be very conscious of taking good care of our people and being respectful and being appreciative and letting them know they're valued, because we truly believe that.
So how many people on average go through the rodeo? Do you guys ever keep track of that?
We've grown over the years, and that's been really kind of a fun, interesting process. Like I said, it's like it's a baby, and even like the attendance is kind of like that. You watch it grow over the years. For us, we kind of base it on what the Harvest Festival tells us as far as their bleachers. And they've been doing some great improvements with those. And so there's a huge amount of more seating, which is great for their event and for us too. For us, probably basically the year before COVID hit was one of the first years that we would pretty much call it like full bleachers, like on both nights. It used to be, there was kind of this, Friday night would be a little less, and then, Saturday night's always packed, right? Yeah. But we have developed Friday night with our kids' corral. And what that is that we have events going on in there for the kids to do, and everything is completely free. It's sponsored. So, like, you bring your kids down and they can do the bouncy house, and they can
We've taken them there.
We've taken them there, yeah. It's hard to get them out of there.
Yeah. And it's all free. And that's been a huge success. So our Friday has kind of slowly grown to where, like, in the last 2 years, especially, like, since coming back from COVID, the attendance both nights is pretty much packed. And for us, because like I said, it's not set up as an arena for us. So there's a set of back bleachers that aren't what I would call the best. Yeah. But that's even been starting to fill up because all the others are full. So we're excited about that. That's a big deal for us.
I've never seen a really bad seat in the house over there. I mean, it's always been pretty good, no matter Harvest Fest or any other festivals they have there.
I think maybe because of the way they set it, it makes it, you have a good view from whichever angle you're at, which is great for the spectators.
So have you guys run into any issues in your 23 years of like, I'm not sure if this is going to continue?
How was COVID?
Yeah. Ooh, that was fun. Didn't we all enjoy that?
Everybody loved that.
Yeah.
Especially if you owned a business or ran any sort of...
Yeah, or had kids in school. Uh-huh. Yeah. That's a funny question. Yes, there have been moments. Like I said, we bought the rodeo out, and a very short version of a very long story is that in buying it, there was some unforeseen costs, and we had thought that we'd be able to pay it off very quickly, the amount that we had bought it for. And
when you say you buy it, who is we? Like the
original, what we call lifetime board members.
Okay.
There was a group of us that we went in and bought. We got loans, and we committed to financially being responsible for the rodeo.
Oh, wow.
And I remember
personally?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
so
I remember
everybody took out a loan and kind of...
Well, no, we took it out as a loan with the association, but we had to be...
Like personally sign them?
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember at the time, because, it was 26 years ago, my mother-in-law thought Jay and I were crazy. She was like, "What are you doing?" And we're like, "Oh, it's no big deal.
You're like, it's fine. It's
going
not
to
going to be
a year or two,
But, in a year or two.
Yeah. We were young and naive. We have a joke that we've kind of learned everything the expensive way,
That's most businesses.
Yeah. But, we've never given up. We've never given in. We have a saying for ourselves as a board. It's kind of, I don't know, like if other boards have this, but we have people that contact us and they're always like, "We want to be on the board. How can I be on the board?" And I always kind of want to laugh. I don't, of course, but I'm like, you want to do all the jobs no one else wants to do, and you want to like sign for the money, and you want to be dirty.
Do you
all the
know
time.
what's involved in being on the board?
Because I think sometimes people have a perception that if you're on the board, it's just kind of a title.
You get
like
a box.
an
You get a box
honorary-
seat somewhere, and you get free drinks.
and you get to hang out. Yeah, I mean, that would be fun,
Yeah,
right?
I'd be on that board.
Sign me up. I'll be on the board.
Yeah, I want to do that.
I volunteer.
But I think it's a real blessing for the event that as a board, I like to say we're a working board. We do all the jobs. I mean, we are not afraid to get our hands dirty. We're not like handing everything off to people. We're down there in the dirt with everybody else. And, we're there till late at night and early in the morning, making sure all the things happen. So, being on the board, we think it's an honor because we're able to do this and give back to the community. Yeah. But it's not like we just are like, I'm on the board. It's a working position. And
you also get to experience it, so you know what's working and what's not working.
Yes, exactly. And that I think is huge. We work with contract labor, and that's always really interesting because it gives you an insight from other rodeos because they work with multiple, different entities throughout the year. And the one thing, and it kind of gets back to what we say, is that they say that we're one of the hardest working boards as far as like they just see us working the whole time.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we're really happy about, and we make an effort to do this, not just with ourselves as a board, but with our whole organization, is to always try and find the good, try and be positive, and perpetuate that. And so when the contract labor people are like, you guys are just like, you're so fun because you're always in a good mood and you're always nice to each other, and we're happy about that. But so that's kind of nice. That's a great compliment, we feel like, because it's not like we have to consciously do that because we've just always worked that way. Yeah. We've made an effort to always be respectful to each other and to our people.
Because a lot of organizations can implode from the inside.
So I think that when you think about a board of people, everybody's got a different personality, and you have to be able to meld that together and to make success. And I think that that's really key in perpetuating that down to your volunteers and to the entire organization, that you keep a positive attitude.
Yeah. And so everybody's got like a voting. Is this how you guys run your organization, through like a voting type of?
Yeah, we have an e-board and we have a regular board, and the board is kind of like as a board in a business, like they have to make the decisions as far as the formation and budgeting and all those types of decisions. Yeah. And then we work with our volunteers, and we have committee heads, and each one of those is responsible for a different part of the rodeo. And we train them when they first come in, and it's after that we are there to support them and help them with anything they need, but we try not to micromanage because once they have that position, we don't want to be like, take it and give it, take it and give it. So we just try to be a really good support system for them and say like, okay, what do you need? What else can we help you with? That kind of thing.
So what does growth look like for a rodeo? I mean, you talked about some being around for 100 years. What does year one look like to year 100 for rodeos?
Well, I've not been at the 100-year mark, but
she's like, that's a loaded question.
I think, what we've tried to do as we've built is our goal is always each year to always bring back what works and to always keep the core. We try to keep the Western tradition really the core. Yeah. And then we kind of satellite around that. And we've brought things in and taken things away. For instance, we've had like some trick shooting competitions, and we did that for a while, but the noise kind of became an issue with the animal pens. Yeah. So, that kind of went by its side. We've done what we call the City Kids Rodeo, and that was really popular for a while.
What's the City Kids Rodeo?
It's a rodeo for kids that they didn't have to have an animal. Like they didn't have to ride. They didn't, it wasn't like you had to be on a horse to do it. So we did things like you chased a pig, a greased pig. And there was goat tying. So like we would put goats on posts and they'd tie a ribbon on the tail. We had like a big tarped area with hay around it and then over it. And we would put like coins, and like from A&W and Dairy Queen, they'd put treat stuff in, and they'd get like a certain amount of time and they'd go and scramble through it.
Oh, how cute.
So just different things that they could do without having to be able to ride.
Got it.
It was a big success for quite a while. And then, to be really honest, the last year we did it, we had 27 kids. And to do that, we always did it the weekend before, and it was a lot of work to set it all up. So that year, after we, reevaluated, we were like, too much work for 27
Yeah, I was
kids.
going to say, that's a lot of work for 27
Yeah.
kids.
So, it kind of went in cycles. So that kind of went away. We've done a barbecue competition that went away.
That sounds good.
Well,
He's like, bring that back.
We
Yeah.
like that. It's just the space.
Yeah.
There's, it takes quite a bit of space because we have to have room for our contestants and their animals.
Yeah.
We have to have room, pins for the animals that are the athletes. That help our contestants, and then there has to be room for like your participants, all the things. So that became kind of an issue. So there's lots of different things you can try and do, and we'd love to do more, but like you have to kind of be very cognitive of the space and the timing. So one thing that's been since the very beginning has been just a huge crowd favorite is our mutton busting.
Yeah.
People love that.
Savannah wants to do that. And I'm like, I don't even know how
you
you get into that. She's like, but I want to do it. I'm like, oh.
Well, here's a little hint. The trick is to hold on really tight.
But how does she get into it?
Oh,
I guess.
sign up.
No, I don't think she'll have an issue like with the holding on for dear life. Like she'll practice. She's like, Summer, come over here. I'm gonna pretend you're.
Usually it's the dads. They have to get on their hands and knees. I know. I've heard that from a lot of them. As far as how you're going to get in, that kind of changes throughout the years.
Okay.
We've tried different ideas because it's so popular and it's grown each year. And just to give you an idea, last year, the entire spots for the entire rodeo filled in 20 minutes.
Wow.
Like that fast. Now that's grown. It used to be like Jim Height used to have his barbershop in Staten.
Yeah.
And he used to take our entries for us. And it would take sometimes a couple weeks before it filled up. So, no big deal. And then it's just gotten more and more popular. And then we started doing an online entry system. And like I said, it's just gotten crazy. We're doing something different this year.
Okay.
We're going to do in-person signups, but it's going to open on it's actually the 29th. That's a Saturday, right?
So we didn't miss it, is what
No,
I'm hearing.
you didn't miss it. I'm here and I got a
Can
chance.
we send somebody in her place? Because we're. I have questions.
Yeah. And so it will open up. We'll be there. It's going to be at Sigmund's in their parking lot there. So there's plenty of room for everybody to get in. And it'll all be on our Facebook page, so you can check it out there. So this is like sneak peek that everybody's getting.
It.
Yeah. And if it fills that day, then it's full. If it's not, we'll have like this from this time to this time. And we'll have the queen there, so like people can get autographs, all the fun things. And then if it doesn't, then we'll take entries over the phone. But I pretty much feel like it's going to be full real fast.
How many spots is it?
It's 10 spots per night.
Okay.
Do you have to have your own animal that you're doing?
No, we supply the animal.
That's good to know.
You do have to have your own helmet. We used in the beginning, way back in 26 years ago, we used to supply the helmets because we thought that would be nice. And then one parent was like, "How do you?" We would spray them with Lysol, and she's like, "Well, that doesn't seem very sanitary." So I was like, "Ooh."
They're riding on a sheep.
Yeah, right.
At a rodeo. Let's come on.
So we went to like bring your own helmet.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of fun because you see a barrage of helmets. Like you'll see a hockey helmet, you'll see an actual riding helmet, you'll see bike helmets.
Wasn't there a football helmet? I feel like we saw one of those.
Yeah. Last year a kid had like I think they're bike helmets, but it's like a big mohawk.
Yeah.
And it's all spiky. I was like, dude. So yeah, you bring your own helmet. Now, some people like that are professional sheep riders, like they go.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Well, there's some people that take their kids from
Not
rodeo to rodeo
not something I
to
want to put
rodeo.
on my resume, but
Well, there is an association called the Wool Riders, and we've been a part of that before.
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
But yes, some people do a lot of sheep riding. And if
So they just go from like rodeo to rodeo, like,
yeah,
all right.
yeah, and they might even have their kids in like there's the Northwest Youth Rodeo Association.
Yeah.
They might have them in that, and then they go to the big rodeos that have the sheep like us.
Okay.
That being said, they're into it, so they have vests for their kids.
Oh, okay.
For the most part, it's pretty safe to ride a sheep. Now, I will say, you can get your face in the dirt, and that has happened. So but for the most part, it's pretty safe.
And how old are the kids that do it? They all seem really little.
Yeah, at our rodeo, you have to be at least 3 and no older than 6. Okay. And you can't be over 60
Savannah
pounds.
aged out. She missed it. Oh, no.
Well, that happened during COVID. I had oh gosh, the year we came back after COVID, so much heartbreak because kids, for 2 years they couldn't ride. And my grandson was one of those, and it was like, that was heartbreaking, but our parameters are set by the sheep owners, with the people we get the sheep from. So you have to honor that. And ours is, we've always just done it. We've had the same guy, and he's protecting his animals, and we respect that. So 3 to 6 and 60 pounds or less. And, I think 3 is an okay age to start, because littler than that is kind of intimidating, I think, for kids to hop on the back of this sheep,
Yeah. So you guys were out for 2 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does that affect anything as far as losing things or people?
Well, we're so blessed. We didn't lose any of our sponsors at all. So that was great. And our crowd, we were very active on our Facebook page about it. The second year, we were trying really hard to come back. And that was when there was a lot of changing and different ideas from our governor. And when our event was going to be happening, the ruling we got from her office was that we could have done it, but we would have to have people sit 6 feet apart. And that would have really limited the amount of people that could have been there, and it would
in the bleachers.
You had 20 people in the bleachers.
Yeah, and so for us, that wasn't doable because the amount of people you could get in there then wouldn't have paid to open the doors. Yeah, So fortunately, though, it worked out great because she ended up changing that ruling, so the Harvest Festival was able to come back after 1 year. So that was great for them, and I know it was a great comeback for them too, and we were real scared after 2 years because, you don't really know how people are going to respond to that.
And everybody's probably itching just to go out and do something. Yes,
that's what we found, is that people were so excited to get back out and just be able to kind of live, Yeah. So we had a great comeback. We were well received, and we were so pleased by that.
Yeah. How about your vendor area? That's probably grown quite a bit.
No? Well, okay. So the vendor area, when you talk about the grounds being set up, there's a great vendor area out front. And it's great because each place has its own water, its own electricity. And we've had our vendors out there and moved them, and had them out there and moved them. And the one thing that's a little different for us with that setup, it's a little tough because our event doesn't go all day long. And so it's a condensed amount of time. And by the time a fan would walk out there, place their order, get their food, and get back, they've missed a substantial part of the show. Yeah. So we had to look at that. And so what we've done is we've brought them inside. So once you come through the gates, they're inside as you're walking into the arena area. Yeah. And so that actually kind of limits the number of vendors we can have because of the electricity. We have to be cognitive of that they need a certain amount, and we do like generators and spider boxes and those kinds of things. And so we limit the amount of people.
There's probably like a space limitation too, as well.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, we started kind of going down the fence a bit because people really want to come. So, but we're also very cognitive of the fact that we don't want to try and duplicate because it's, a more condensed time frame. We want them to be successful. And so if you're coming and you're going to be our Mexican food vendor, then no one else is. If you're bringing in an elephant ear for us, no one else is. We work really hard to do that so that it's a great event for the fans, but it's also successful for our vendors. They feel, it's worth their time.
Out of it.
Yeah. And then, we do a little bit of what I would call trade kind of vendors, whether it's clothing or it's tack, or we got a guy last year, and he's coming back that he actually has beautiful cowboy hats, and he shapes them for your head while you're there. He steams them and shapes them.
I've seen that. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it was hugely successful. People loved him, so we're really happy to have him coming back. It's because not everybody can. If you don't have a steamer, you're not getting it shaped to your head. So that's kind of a perfect scenario.
So you guys really pick and choose kind of who's gonna.
Yeah.
We got limited space. Who's gonna be here? Because you go to like the state fair and it's like, what is this? What is this? I have no idea what this.
We don't have the veggie mac or anything.
Yeah.
No, because we don't have space for that. So you're right. Yeah, and we also, we try to be really nice about if you've come and it's been a great situation for you and for us to work together, we give you a first right of refusal to come back the next year. Because that just, again, develops a relationship that gives you some stability in your event.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
So what does a typical rodeo day look like for you and then for the person attending? Let's start with the person
Starting
attending.
at
For
3
the person,
a.m.
Yeah, so Corky doesn't sleep that weekend or the week leading up to it or probably the month leading up to it.
It's a good thing I don't sleep much.
Yeah. It works out well. So, but if I'm going to come to the rodeo, what does that look like as far as what should I plan for?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to want to get your tickets ahead of time because you save money. Mm-hmm. I always tell everybody that calls, I'm like, jump online.
Can't you go to Wilco too?
Yeah, I was going to say, or get to Wilco, Riverview, or Double H, and they have the paper tickets, but you can get everything online too.
Oh, is that santiamstampede.com?
It is.
I just guessed that too.
No, well, actually, no, it's scsrodeo.com.
Oh,
okay.
So it's a little shorter. So you get your tickets ahead of time so you save money. Plan to get there. The gates open at 5:30, and so you're able to get your seat because it's not reserved seating. Mm-hmm. And then we have the vendors open so you could grab some snacks or dinner or a drink. And if you're over 21, you can hang out in the tent and beforehand and have some alcohol drinks or some other drinks. And again, you could grab your food and take it in there. Not every year, but some years we also have music ahead of time. We also have games in there that you can play and that kind of stuff with your friends. And then the rodeo itself starts at 7. So you'll want to be in your seat by then. We also do a grand entry, which is part of the rodeo. And that varies every year. Sometimes it's something to do with the military. Sometimes it's something to do with the community. We do things focused on kids because we're very family. That's a big deal for us, the family focus. Yeah. So that's a big, big deal for us. And then once you're in your seat, once you're through grand entry, first horse going to buck, and you're going to go through. You're going to see all of the events with the association we're in, which is NPRA, Northwest Professional Rodeo Association. We also have what's called breakaway roping for women besides barrels, and that's kind of a big deal because it gives them an opportunity to do something in the rodeo besides just barrels.
Now, what is breakaway roping?
It's kind of like, how would I describe it? It's kind of, you put your horse in the stall, and there's a barrier and a gate, and they pop that, the calf goes running, and they have to try and rope it, and the fastest time is the winner.
Okay.
Yeah, and some people are super fast, and it's amazing.
It looks so easy, too, from the stands. No. I'm like, I could do that.
Yeah.
Give me a rope.
It's really not that easy.
No. I'd fall off out the gate.
Yeah. But roping's become very popular, especially in our area. I mean, not just in the rodeos, but there's a lot of roping associations and competitions. So it's kind of fun because a lot of the local people are starting to be able to participate in the rodeo. And that's so fun to have a local person.
I was going to ask you about the circuit because you guys are part of a rodeo circuit.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are timed or spaced out enough where people can kind of go to one and then shift to yours?
Well, they try to make sure of that. Yes, like our weekend, there's with our association, there's 2 others, and so that like say Carrie's going to come and rope because it's easy. She's going to come and rope at the Stampede.
It looks easy. I'm just saying. Just kidding. It's very hard.
Yes, it's very hard. On Friday night, and then Saturday she might be at the next one because she's trying to accumulate her points for the finals.
Oh, all right.
Also in the Northwest, you can be part of the Northwest Professional Rodeo Association and the PRCA and be able to accumulate your points for those associations so you can go to the finals in both. And that's what's fun is, like I said, if you are local, you can actually pick and choose which ones you want to do. Uh-huh. And if you're part of the association, you're probably doing as many as you can because you want to accumulate those points.
Yeah.
For us, it's just fun. When we were PRCA, we've had world champions in sublimity. It's that's amazing.
Yeah.
To have
little
those
sublimity.
Yeah. And we have great contestants. They're so. The sport of rodeo, I love how it perpetuates the American culture. It's the contestants are very respectful. It's very family oriented. A lot of them are coming in and they've got their kids with them. And we do a cowboy tent. We call it the cowboy tent. And it's on the back side of the arena. Like probably anyone that's not a contestant wouldn't know it's there. But it's there for them and their families. And we supply, drinks and food. And it's a place where they can just hang out and like in the morning when we have our slack, they can get breakfast, and then there's at the dinner time there's
pancake feed, that type of thing.
Different, yeah. We do a lot of biscuits and gravy. That's been really popular, And then like we've done pulled pork sandwiches, we do hot dogs, we've done chili. I think this year they're doing hamburgers. So I mean, there's different things all the time, and we just want them to feel appreciated as much as anybody else at our rodeo. So that's why we do that, and that's. We get thank yous from the contestants, and that's nice.
Do you feel like that's one thing that kind of sets you guys apart from some other rodeos?
Possibly. I mean, not every rodeo does it. So, that could definitely. And, for some people, that may not be a big factor on whether they're going to come to your rodeo or not. Like, maybe a single guy's like, I don't care about the tent, But I've been back there when like they're grabbing, we started like having to go stuff for them because they're grabbing like a baggie and throwing in a hot dog and some chips and they're taking off because they're that quickly going to the next rodeo.
Got it.
Wow.
So, that's helpful for them because then they don't have to stop along the road.
Yeah.
So anything you can do to kind of be kind to people, I think is important.
I love how this is kind of almost in our backyard.
Yeah.
And our kids are kind of growing up every year, kind of expecting like the Santiam Stampede and then, the Harvest Fest. And that's just kind of part of life over in our area growing up. And they just get excited, especially now that they're in horse riding lessons.
Oh, fun. I didn't know they were doing that. So, that's exciting.
Put on the cowgirl boots and some jeans and go to the,
So maybe they'll be trying out to be the queen one day?
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. We gotta tell Savannah she can't do mutton festing now.
Yeah. She's going to be heartbroken.
She'll be like,
can't do that, but we got a new thing we can try.
We got a new thing for you.
You can start working on being the queen.
There you go.
That is something that's like very popular for girls, obviously, is the barrel racing and being the queen. And that's why breakaway's kind of nice, because if you don't want to be the queen, then that gives you another avenue to pursue. And it's more cowgirlish, some people think. I would beg to differ, because in our case, like if you can't ride your horse, you aren't going to be queen. Like we put, like as far as tryouts, they have a huge percentage of their points comes from their horsemanship, because we felt going into this, if you're going to be a rodeo queen, you should be able to ride your horse.
Yeah.
So that's like a really big deal for us.
But you guys are super involved in the community too, because we see like any of the parades and stuff like that. We're always seeing you guys. I mean, you see you everywhere.
Well, we try to be, because we know that, that community, like I said, we can't do it without that. And we also feel like we want to be involved in the community that we're a part of. And so that's always been very key. We like to also we've helped like Kiwanis with their booth, just because it's like, well, how can we help you, and so that was, we have fun when we're together, so it was always a good time. We're really excited about an affiliation that is happening this year. The father-daughter dance is coming back.
I know, we're gonna miss that. I'm so sad
we're gone. Well, I feel like it just kind of popped up.
It did, but it's so exciting.
Yeah,
it's gonna be neat,
and it's really fun because it's Boots and Beauties. And so it's kind of a natural fit. And so our queen is going to be at the event.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Where's that at?
It's going to be over
at Foothills Church, I believe.
Church. It's the weekend we're gone, though, for Summer's birthday.
Yeah. And so it's very exciting. And the queen's going to help them out. They're doing raffles, and we're going to be donating to the raffles. And then also we asked him if it would be okay if she gave each of the participants a token gift. So we've got a little token gift she's going to be giving each of the girls. So she's really excited about it, because she's never done that before, as far as being a queen. So we're really excited about that. We're happy to be a part of that. And we've done things with the library with our queens in the past, like a reading program. That was really fun. It's just whatever we feel like we can help out with, we want to. And so, yes, we've done, it's like, I've had people say, what do you do on the 4th of July? I'm like, the last 26 years, I do 2 parades, So, yeah. But again, we try to make it fun. So we make sure everybody's got food and drinks throughout the day. And then we usually as a board and our volunteers, then we go and have a barbecue. So everyone can have something to eat before they head out to the fireworks. So
nice.
Is there any off switch, or is this an all year thing leading up to this?
We do take a little bit of time off because doing it for 26 years, we kind of have a groove. We know what works and what doesn't. So we like to take a little bit of time off in the winter and give everybody a little break. But again, because we're so blessed, literally, I have volunteers like all the time that we're not meeting, calling and checking when we're going to meet. When are we going to meet? They just want to get back at it. Yeah. So that's really nice, to have that kind of enthusiasm. But we like to take a little bit of time from the fall. We usually do our appreciation party and then take a little bit of time, and then we're back at it in January. For us as a board, we kind of are all year because there's our finals for our organization is late fall, and if we decide to go down to the NFR, which is in December down in Vegas, which we've done many times, that's December, and then January you're back at it. So there's a little downtime, and like the early spring is pretty easy. It's more just planning and organizing, making sure you have all your contracts signed, that kind of thing.
So do you guys have any like big picture, like, man, someday we'll be able to do this?
Yeah.
Do you have any of those? Or just go year to year?
No. Our big joke is that if anybody ever wins the lottery, we're going to like build a big facility, because it would be so great to not have to tear everything down and put it back up every time. That would be amazing. But our goal is always to be growing. Like I kind of alluded to earlier, we like to keep the core of what works. And then every year we want to add something that's fun, new, and different, just so that like, if you're like you guys where you expect it and it's become a part of your summer, we want it to not only have that core that you appreciate, but have something, that was fun, you know. And to that, we've had donkeys throughout the years, donkey races, which is a huge crowd favorite. And it's really funny, but donkeys are hard to secure.
They are.
Oh, Lord.
She's like, let me tell you.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. I joke with people, anybody I know that has property, I'm like, do you want to raise donkeys? Because I can get you gigs.
I actually know a donkey lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
not a donkey lady. That sounded horrible.
Is it fruit? What?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Oh, wait. Yes.
Yeah.
I can't remember what her.
Amber.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have miniatures.
Okay. Oh yeah. Never mind.
We do.
Like, I was like, she's the donkey person.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're adorable.
Yes.
But we try to do the full size so that when people are riding them, it doesn't hurt them. But I tell you what, like I have other rodeos call me all the time because we've had the donkeys pretty frequently, and so they're always wanting our contacts and stuff. And after COVID, our regular one, there was a big confusion, and we had everybody all excited. And that day in the morning, they still weren't there. In the afternoon, and I'm calling and calling. And they were like, oh, I think we forgot we were supposed to be coming. They didn't show.
No. Wow.
People were so upset. And we were so sorry, but it was like out of our control.
What do you do?
Yeah. I mean, if I could have grew donkeys, I would have. But we're so excited. It took till this year to find donkeys. So, but we have donkeys. We have them paid for, secured. They're coming, people. So the donkeys are back.
I love it.
So I hear a multi-year fundraiser for your own facility is in the works.
And your own donkeys.
Yeah. We're going to have like a whole barn area, We'll have to hire hands to take care of the animals. Oh, Lord, no. But yeah, I mean, our goal is, when we started it, it was always kind of like, well, when we're 80 years old, like everybody else, we'll all be dead. I wonder what they'll do, that kind of thing. Our goal is always to perpetuate the event with the mindfulness of growing it and that it would continue. And so that's why we have what we call our junior board. And that's people that have volunteered for multiple years and have expressed an interest that they'd like to continue.
Oh, it's like a training program for you guys.
It's like your legacy.
Yeah. And it was really interesting. The first year we implemented that and brought in some of those people, they were shocked. They were like, we had no idea. They said, we thought we knew what you guys were doing, and we had no idea. Yeah. So it's a great way to like let somebody learn what needs to be done to keep it going. And so our hope is by doing that when we all are dead and gone, that it will still go on without us. That would be the hope, is that it will just continue to be a great part of the community and a family event that people look forward to. That's always our goal. I mean, when I'm looking down from heaven, I hope that that's the case.
Yeah, well, when you're in your 80s, it's like, I don't really want to do this, but I want to know that
I just want to go there.
I just want to make sure it's taken care of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's when we started, and, we talked about the money part, we did so many things because we couldn't afford to not do them, Yeah. And so I was joking because when we came back from COVID, it was such a short time frame that a lot of the schools still weren't letting kids do things. And so we struggled to find our groups because we always hire a lot of kids groups, youth groups from churches, that kind of thing, to do a lot of jobs and then pay them. And that's a great way to give back. And so we did not have those. And all of a sudden it was Saturday morning and we didn't have a clean crew.
I remember you telling me this. You're like, oh man,
so
we are the clean.
There were 3 of us because everybody else was doing our slack performance, and that takes a lot of bodies. And so the 3 of us that weren't doing that went and cleaned the grounds. And I joked, I'm like, I'm too old to be picking up garbage.
See, at that point, you just put it on Facebook.
Member, damn it.
I just was like, this is hard.
It's not what I signed up
hard. But so we really, really appreciate our groups. I mean, we love to be... it's been great as we've grown to be able to bring in more and more groups every year. Yeah. Not only because it takes a lot of pressure off us to do things, but we're able to give back even more and more. And so that's so fun, when you talk about our sponsors, I don't know if you guys remember back in 2008, it was kind of hard for everybody.
I was going to say, how'd that go?
We had a little bit of a moment there. Some of our sponsors who had already committed and had been with us forever had to call and tell us that they couldn't afford to do it. And I had one gentleman call me and he was crying. He felt so bad. That's the kind of sponsors we have. And so as a board, we sat back and said, how can we fix this and what can we do? So we went back to our sponsors and said, it's hard for everybody right now. We maybe need to regroup. And so we had a 5-year plan of doing just bulls and then adding barrels and then adding broncs and getting back to rodeo. And in doing that, we were able to cut costs substantially. And so we cut our sponsorship packages substantially. And the sponsors were so excited because then they were able to stay involved. Yeah. And they really thanked us for being willing to change things and not just give up, because there was that moment, they were asking us, are you going to have to quit? And we did not want to do that. And so in working in that partnership, it was great because our 5-year plan, within 1 year, we were back to full rodeo.
That's amazing.
Wow. So our sponsors were fabulous to stick with us, and we appreciated that they appreciated us being willing to change. And it was a great learning lesson as an event to know that you can really work that way with your sponsors, that they're willing to listen to what's going on financially and be willing to help. And it was really interesting in that too, because they were like, how much are you guys don't worry about us, give more to other people. They're so kind. I tell you, I'm yearly amazed by our community. The sponsors in our community are truly some of the most the kindest people. And they give not just to us. I know they give to multiple events in our community. Yeah. And we are so blessed. And I don't know if people realize that. And I really try to get people to support those people because otherwise they couldn't do this.
So who are some of these sponsors that you're talking about that are these top?
We have, like I said, we have so many, but Sigmund's is very involved. Power is very involved. Ferris has been our presenting sponsor. We have also North Santiam Paving. They've been with us from the very beginning. Frank Lumber Company, A&W Restaurant. Gosh, I have a list this long of sponsors, and they're all amazing. K&E, they are very involved with us. They also are involved with the fairs with the kids with the animals, so they're really working to perpetuate that, and I think that's amazing. Sorry. Emery and Sons, HP Civil, we've got so many, it just goes on and on. We have realtors, we have funeral homes. You guys, it's amazing, our community. And I know that not everybody has that. Just to give you a really quick example, when we were PRCA, there's a ruling that the national sponsors have first right of refusal on any rodeo in the nation. And so Dodge is always a national sponsor for PRCA. They came to us and they wanted our rodeo. And I was the promoter at the time. And I said, okay, well, when they come to give first rights, they have to match what you already have. And we had a very substantial, wonderful, sponsorship with Power Chevrolet at the time. Now Power Motorsports also is involved. But the rep from Dodge, the national rep guy, was like, how are you getting that kind of money? He goes, literally no one else in the nation is getting that kind of money from a car dealership. And I said, because we're blessed. And he was, so for about 4 years, every year he'd call me. He's like, are those guys still your, dealer? And
are they still there?
Yeah, pretty much. And finally, about the 5th year, he said, don't even call me to see if I want first right. He goes, I want you, but until they're gone, I can't afford you.
Well, it says a lot about, the Santiam Canyon and just the local sponsors that we have here. It's probably a lot of rodeos maybe don't have that. They rely more on those national sponsors who probably don't really care as much about doing stuff like that.
That's why I'm saying, I say it over and over, and I think sometimes people think I'm just saying it, but we really, truly are blessed. I mean, not everybody has a community of business people like we do. It's just the facts, and like I said, that's just one example. When we first bought the rodeo, we were given a blue sky value, and when things didn't pan out, we were blessed that 2 of our sponsors came in and, we went to them and said, hey, could you help us out? And they gave us loans and helped us to, if it weren't for those 2 businessmen, the rodeo would not be here today because we would have had to close the doors. And they carried us for much longer than we thought they would. One in particular, he didn't even want us to pay him back, but we were not going to do that. That's not who we were. And so he just, every year he's like, don't pay me. But eventually we paid him. And we were like, well, if you can just take an interest payment, and he was like, I don't want, but we always gave him payment, but he carried us. And the other one carried us for a while also. So that's why I say we're blessed.
Yeah.
I don't know that every community has that. I don't know if they have people that care about their community enough to invest their money like that. Mm-hmm. And literally those 2 men saved our rodeo. So we still have it. I mean, like I said, we paid them, but they carried us, and we appreciated it a lot.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Sorry.
No, this is awesome. I mean, you don't see that, and I think part of it is not just that they're in the community, but they also have roots in the community too. It's a family, a lot of family businesses. Yeah. That's spread out throughout the area here,
and they know what good it brings to the community.
Yeah. Well, and both of them, it's like, again, it's not just us. They do so much for the whole entire community, and the thing is, they never want people to know. It's very anonymous, and the one in particular, he was like, we were sworn to secrecy, and I know what both of them do for the community and have for years, and it's I when I say we're blessed, we're blessed. Yeah. I mean, and I hope people will learn that, and if you don't know that, support the local people, because oh my gosh, you guys, they do amazing things for our community. They really do.
Wow. Yeah, with the rodeo, it's so unique. It's uniquely American to have a rodeo, and it's generational.
Yes.
It's like we did the exact same thing that our grandparents did, and that's where it's neat seeing that you guys are started it from the ground up, and where it's going to be in 100 years from now. Yeah.
And it's so interesting that you say that, the generational, and like I told you, we think family, because we started this like kind of grassroots. It's funny because we all brought in family and friends to help us do all the work. Yeah. And a lot of them are still helping. And
You're like, just one more year. We just need you for another year.
my sisters 1 year were like, oh my gosh. But
you're like, it's fine.
Yeah, you can do it. But what I mean about generational is when we started, my son was quite young.
Yeah.
And he has literally helped with this rodeo since he was tiny, since he was a kid.
Yeah.
And he's done different aspects of it. And he's on our board, and he's brought in his friends who are now very vital and part of that junior board and our board now. Yeah. And that's perpetuating that legacy. But what's so fun, like for me to see, and like the rest of us that started it, is our families have grown with the rodeo. So like now my son and his friends, their kids are down there. So like when he was little and down there, they're playing in the dirt and they're climbing on the fences and they're checking out the bulls and all the things. And now you see that in the next generation. Mm-hmm. And it's so fun to see because some of my son's mom's friends are they're like feral kids, like for the week. They're just down there and they're all like in this group and they all kind of like mind each other, and they're just like little dirty grimy things in the dirt, and they're covered from head to toe, and they're down there from the minute they can get there. Like some of them are like, can we go in the morning, that kind of thing, and they're there till sometimes we're there till midnight. And so it's just so fun to see that generational thing happening. Yeah. To see that age group now has their kids, and to me, that's that legacy. Hopefully that will perpetuate and they'll bring their kids there one day. That's kind of fun.
So, technology, I mean, it's probably changed so much. You guys are doing paper tickets. Now you guys probably have some sort of like tablet you're carrying around.
Oh, yeah.
Keeping track of everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And technology has changed a lot in the way that the crowd, God, I'm so sorry. I'm a hands person. How the fan gets to watch the rodeo. Yeah. When we first started, we had like a tiny little, it was like literally about this big, and it was like red little lights that lit up and would give the score, right? Yeah. And then we went to a board that was a little bigger that would make it even bigger numbers, Yeah. And now, like for quite some time, we've made the choice to do a video board. Yeah. So we have instant replay, and they can see it up on the big screen, and we have some commercials from some sponsors, and we've done a lot of military stuff on the screen, like with people that are in the community and honoring people and that kind of thing. So that part of the technology has been really fun. We've enjoyed that a lot.
You guys got to get like a F-15 flyover or something.
We would love to. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. We're trying to get color guards, and that's even hard. Yeah. But that would be so fun. It would be great. But yes, technology has made it like better in all the ways because we're able to track things better. Yeah. It makes it a more streamlined process for the fan coming in. We're working on, it's great because the Harvest Festival is working with SCTC to do a new Wi-Fi system. So we're hoping that will be done in time, and we're hoping, if it is, that we'll be able to do your parking online, so you don't have to even like worry about buying it when you're coming through. You can just
that'd be huge,
right? Yeah. It'd be amazing. So if it doesn't happen this year, then hopefully for next year. But it's just those kinds of things are really exciting because it's the way that things have gone. People are just used to doing things online. Uh-huh. It's like that's just what's comfortable. And I'm a cash person. It's kind of a family joke. My kids make fun of me, but a lot of people don't even carry cash anymore. So it's like if they can't do it with their card, they're like, what am I going to do? So that part's been great too, is to be able to have that ability with our system that we use. Uh-huh. And like our alcohol servers, they have a system like that they use. There's just a lot of continuity that happens that makes it a better setup for the fans. Yeah. So technology is great. And like, you guys have sound, so you get it, but we have a great sound guy we've been working with for a while now, and he has kind of got it dialed in, so that helps, because if you can't hear, sometimes that kind of takes away from the fun of the event. Yeah. And then we also have the sound in the entertainment tent for our live entertainment after the rodeo, so that's always fun.
Well, from our neighborhood, you can hear the echo.
And we don't mind it. Yeah.
We don't mind it. We don't mind it because it's just part of every year. We're like, there it is. There's a stampede, and then you hear
the Harvest Festival. We hear the Mexican rodeo. Then you guys.
Yep. Yeah.
Then we hear
So it becomes part of the tapestry of the summer.
It's just part of it. We just sit outside and listen to it. So.
Yeah. So then you don't have to buy a ticket. Yeah. You can just listen.
There you go.
So when is the Stampede?
The Stampede is the 19th and 20th, and our kickoff is on the 18th. And something that's a little bit new this year also is that we've decided to sell tickets to our kickoff. So you can do that online.
What's the kickoff?
Well, it's kind of been a secret thing. Oh. It's been something that we do on Thursday night. It's the last night before the craziness starts that we can appreciate our sponsors and volunteers. And we do a dinner, and there's an auction with great things donated that people can bid on. There's different kinds of entertainment at different times, and it's just a really social time. People kind of come and just get to visit and hang out. And for us as a board, like I said, it's our moment to be thank you. You know, we can actually take a minute to walk up and thank someone, because once the rodeo starts, we're pretty busy.
Yeah.
You know, so it's always been a great night for that. And we've done art shows at it. When Bob was one of our board members, he did our posters for so many years. And when he passed, that was very sad. We did an art show with not just all of his rodeo stuff, but he was an artist, local artist that did a lot of work for a lot of people. And that was really a big night. That was very, very well received. But, you know, we just do different things to try and, you know, again, thank people, be appreciative, let them know what's going on. But we're going to open it up this year and see if there's any interest from the public, if they'd like to come or not. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. And we just decided that last night. So see, we're always changing things. We're always, you know, open to new ideas, and we'll see how it goes. You know, if it's great, then we'll keep it. And if we feel like it wasn't, then, you know, we'll change it again.
So how can we support you as far as getting the word out, or just what do you want people to know about it coming up? What's the...
Well, we want you to know that we would love for you to come. We'd love to have you take part in it. If you have kids, the really exciting thing is, as I said earlier, we've always done Friday night free. We've made a big change this year. The whole weekend, the kids' corral's free.
Oh, no way. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday night. And the kids' corral's kind of got a special heart place for me. It took like 5 years to get that thing sponsored, from the conception of the idea. And it came from, what can we do that would make it affordable for a family to come and have something fun to do and not have to spend $1 million? You know, because it's hard for people. And, you know, when
it's nothing worse than like you telling your kid, yeah, all that fun stuff over there, can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, that's the case for a lot of people. And so that idea was where it came from. And so now that we're going to be able to do it both nights, we're just so excited. I mean, it's like, just come and have a great time. And it's rewarding. When we first started it, you know, we were like, well, we'll see. And that was clear back in the day when there was still the local paper and people wrote to the editor. And it was back before I got calloused. And I took everything very personally. And like, it was our first year we did it. And someone wrote in, they were going on and gushing about how wonderful it was. And then they said, but if you really want to be nice, why don't you just let people in for free? And I was like, we would if we could. Yeah. We have to pay for everything, you know. So that was.
It sounds like a new board member right there. That you volunteer for.
Let me have you come in. We'll show you. No, but I mean, like, that was kind of soul crushing, you know. And like I said, I had to kind of be like, okay, you're never going to make everybody happy. We try really hard, but you know, it's like, just life.
Be nice to the staff. They're volunteering.
Oh, I've had to say that to people because our poor volunteers, you know, people can just be people, right? Yeah. So, but anyway, we're super excited. So if you have kids, come on down, let them hang out in the kids' corral. There's going to be really fun things going on. And we're going to have Friday night, the llama's going to be there. You can get your picture taken. There's going to be some special appearances by some other things. So it's going to be fun. You'll love it. And come down and eat some really good food. Watch the show if you're so inclined. We're going to be having the donkey race registration opening. So, you know, you could always try. You got to do it with a team because you got to take turns riding it. So get your team together. It's a big competition. That could be really fun. And then our music afterwards, you guys, is amazing. We have Britt Stokes coming the first year right after rodeo, or excuse me, COVID. We had him by himself because he's out of Nashville. And him and his band have been there, and they play all over Nashville and all the bars, like the country music bars, the owners. They've been doing that for quite a while. And the last 8 years, they are the band that's down at the NFR at the National Finals Rodeo. They're the band that plays at the Thomas Mack Center. So we're very excited to have him because we just had Brett by himself, and now we have his whole band, and they're going to be there both nights. And he's amazing. The band, I'm so excited for the band part because when he was here by himself, I mean, he takes requests, and he was singing country and rock and Pink Floyd.
Freebird?
I mean, yeah.
Freebird.
Yeah, for sure. So it was a rocking time. And so I love that part. That's always fun because, we can kind of play a little bit because, we've gotten through the rodeo. And it's fun to like be in there and like be giving stuff to people, like swag stuff, because they think that's just great, and we like to play and have fun. Awesome. So we would love for you to come join us. It can be fun if you're single. It can be fun if you're a family, and it's a great time.
Awesome. Well, Corky, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Corky Justis.
Corky
You got to
Justis.
say the whole thing.
Yeah. Thanks for having us. We are so honored that you guys asked us to be a part of this because we're so excited for you guys. It's so fun.
Well,
it's like,
thank you for coming.
And I don't know if you want to spring about the giveaway.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do a giveaway.
We're gonna do a giveaway coming
very
up
soon. Probably before we'll time it.
Yeah.
Right, but gift basket. Who doesn't love a gift basket?
All kinds of
nice
swag. It's got
there.
a family pack of tickets. So watch for that because you're going to want to win it.
Yeah, definitely.
Got a fun little tumbler about, your whiskey. So
just put your water in it.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, thanks for having us. Thanks for thinking of us. And we wish you all would come join us. We can't wait to play.
All right. Can't wait to see you there.
Okay, you guys too. Thanks.